The murders of Lloyd Duane Bogle and Patricia Kalitzke, a mystery that still haunts Missouri. Welcome back to another episode of Dark and Mysterious Stories. Today we're diving deep into one of Missouri's most haunting unsolved cases, the murders of Lloyd Duane Bogle and Patricia Kalitzke. These two young lives were brutally cut short in a remote area of Wayne County, Missouri, and despite years of investigations, the mystery remains unsolved to this day. Lloyd Duane Bogle, just 19 years old, was described as an outgoing and friendly young man, known for his love of the outdoors. Patricia Kalitzke, only 15, was a bright, ambitious girl with a passion for life and a promising future. They were a couple, dating for several months, and despite the age gap, they appeared to be a close-knit pair with a shared bond. On the evening of October 7, 1973, Lloyd and Patricia were last seen at a local convenience store in the small town of Poplar Bluff, Missouri. They seemed to be enjoying a typical evening, nothing out of the ordinary. But no one would have guessed that this would be the last time they were seen alive. The next day, on October 8th, the bodies of Lloyd and Patricia were discovered by a passing truck driver on a secluded dirt road near Wayne County, Missouri, a rural area known for its thick woods and remote landscapes. They had been shot multiple times at close range. What was even more chilling was the fact that they were found lying near a black Volkswagen that had been registered to Lloyd. It appeared that they had been ambushed, with no sign of a struggle or robbery. They had no known enemies, and there was no apparent reason for them to have been targeted. Law enforcement jumped into action, hoping to crack the case quickly. They believed that there had to be something more to the story. But despite their efforts, the investigation took several unexpected turns, leading to more questions than answers. Initially, authorities considered the possibility that the murders might have been related to a love triangle, with jealousy playing a part in the crime. But Patricia's family and friends stated that there was no indication that she had been involved in any such relationship that could have sparked such a violent response. Lloyd's ex-girlfriend was also questioned, but there was no evidence that she had any involvement. Another theory that surfaced was that the couple had been targeted by a serial killer. There were a number of other unsolved murders and disappearances in the surrounding counties around that time, which led investigators to consider whether they were dealing with someone who had already struck before. However, there was no direct evidence linking these cases to the deaths of Lloyd and Patricia. The case also drew attention due to the mysterious circumstances surrounding the couple's death. Some investigators speculated that they may have stumbled upon something they weren't supposed to, perhaps a criminal operation or something sinister happening in the area. This theory was bolstered by the remote nature of the crime scene. As with many unsolved cases, the investigation into the murders was plagued with false leads. People came forward claiming to have seen things, but none of the tips led to anything concrete. A number of suspects were looked into, but none were ever charged. One of the more chilling aspects of the case was the fact that a local man was arrested in 1974 after he was found to have been in the area near the time of the murders. But after a thorough investigation and interrogation, he was released, as there was no evidence to directly link him to the crime. Even as time passed, new leads were explored. At one point, authorities even considered the possibility that Patricia's stepfather had something to do with the killings, but he was ultimately ruled out as a suspect after further examination. Over the years, the case has spawned a number of theories. Let's go over the most prominent ones. Love triangle or jealousy. The theory that Lloyd or Patricia's relationships led to the killings has been suggested many times. Some believe that jealousy could have driven a third party to violence. However, there is no concrete evidence to support this. Serial killer. There were other unsolved murders in the area during the same time period, which led some to believe that this could have been the work of a serial killer. However, no direct connections between these crimes have ever been found, and this theory remains unproven. Robbery gone wrong. Some thought the couple might have been targeted during a robbery, but there was nothing of value missing from their vehicle or bodies, leading investigators to dismiss this idea. Another possibility is that Lloyd and Patricia were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time, and were targeted by someone who saw an opportunity to commit a random act of violence. This theory suggests that their deaths were not personal, but rather the result of a violent individual preying on unsuspecting victims. Given the remote nature of the crime scene, some believe that the couple might have unintentionally stumbled upon something illegal, such as drug trafficking or some other criminal operation. However, no evidence has been found to support this theory. Despite years of investigation, the case remains unsolved. The families of Lloyd and Patricia still search for answers, hoping that one day, the truth will come to light. In 1999, the Wayne County Sheriff's Department even appealed to the public for any new information, but the case remained cold. Over the decades, there have been occasional breaks in the case, with individuals claiming to know something or offering new tips. Unfortunately, none of these have led to the arrest of a suspect, and the killer remains unidentified. The deaths of Lloyd Duane Bogle and Patricia Kalitzke continue to haunt the people of Missouri, and their families are left with the lingering question, who killed them and why? As of today, the murders of Lloyd Duane Bogle and Patricia Kalitzke are still an open case, waiting for new evidence or a breakthrough that might finally bring the killer to justice. It remains one of Missouri's most perplexing and chilling unsolved crimes, a mystery that still haunts the families involved. What do you think happened to Lloyd and Patricia? Could this have been the work of a serial killer, or was there something more sinister at play? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more dark and mysterious stories. Thanks for watching and see you next time.